So, if you haven't heard the news yet coming out of Cyberpunk or CD Projekt Red, CD Projekt Red isn't going to be at PAX West this year, and they are apparently not going to show off the 50 minutes of gameplay. I've seen a whole lot of different things from different sources, so maybe they will show off the 50 minutes of gameplay, maybe they won't. I know that they have a 15-minute stream of gameplay that they're going to show off to consumers, to the internet, essentially. But to give you the full context of what's been going on with Cyberpunk 2077 and the gameplay that's been shown off at a lot of different expos, let me try and count this up on my fingers here really quickly. So they had the 50 minutes of gameplay that they showed off at E3, where they invited a whole bunch of people to come in and watch the gameplay. Then they had the 30 minutes of on-show floor, like they showed it off at E3 on their panel on the show floor of E3. That was like 30 minutes of condensed gameplay. Then at Gamescom last week, they had a behind the closed doors gameplay demo that they showed off to journalists at Gamescom last week. Then they're going to have, I think, the 15 minutes of gameplay that they're going to show off on Friday. And I think they have had like another closed doors thing maybe this week or something. It may have been different demos, or it may have been the same pieces of demos. My point is that they have had a lot of gameplay, or a lot of just chances to be we're going to kind of just cut these snippets, cut these things out of the gameplay that we're going to release to the internet, and that's going to be what we're going to show. But there's also the possibility that they may still release any and all of those things, any of all of those gameplay demos that I just mentioned, the E3 ones, the behind the closed doors ones, they probably aren't going to release, but the ones that they're showing off on the show floor that people have gotten a chance to look at, that content creators and journalists have gotten a chance to look at, maybe that's the one that they're going to show off. Maybe that's the one that they're going to release to the general public. I don't really know yet. They aren't at PAX West because of creative and logistical reasons, and they probably won't show off the 55 minutes of gameplay that I've been waiting for the past 2 months. And if you have followed this game at all, this shouldn't be a surprise to you at all. They did the exact same thing in 2018, where they had the 3-minute trailer that they showed off to the masses, and people went Google and Gaga for it, but then people found out, oh wait, there's 50 minutes of gameplay that they haven't showed off to the general public yet. So them not showing gameplay is very, very common. I'm just surprised that they aren't going to do it. If the 15, I get it, they're doing the 15-minute gameplay thing for the consumers, but I don't get why they aren't going to show off the 55 minutes, especially when they've had multiple demos. And you know what I think it is? This is one of the most frustrating things as a consumer. The advertisement that they showed off, I think that's the reason why they aren't going to release the gameplay. Can you imagine the constant backlash that they would get if some mainstream news media, like Anita Sarkeesian, for example, the owner of Feminist Frequency, which is probably going to go bankrupt this year. She's like, you guys, she said this on Twitter, she's like, you guys should text me and DM me and talk to me and make sure that you don't have a bunch of transphobic language in your game and transphobic issues, so that way the transphobic and transgender community doesn't come after you. She was saying that on Twitter. She was talking a whole bunch of shit. Meanwhile, her company's going bankrupt. And I looked at all of the gameplay that's been available, and I don't get it. I don't get why they aren't going to show it off. That's kind of the only reason why I think they won't show it off at E3 this year. And even then, that's just to avoid backlash. That doesn't seem like a legitimate reason. There's something that I'm missing, and here's the thing. I think they may show off the 50-something minutes of gameplay. I think it may be a revised version of it. I think they may just release it out of the blue. I think they may do something with it later on, because it's just something isn't adding up here. I'm missing something. We're missing something. I don't think that it's because they quoted, I think in one article, they quoted we don't want to release spoilers on the internet. And it's people don't care. People want to see the gameplay for it. And I mean, didn't the trailer where, the newest trailer that they showed off at E3 to the general public with Keanu Reeves and he came on stage, didn't that trailer have the guy from last year, both your partner and the guy that you work for died? Aren't those spoilers? I'm missing something. it's not the surface level. It's something that I don't really know about. Someone isn't telling the truth. And I smell BS a mile away, and I'm smelling the BS that's coming off of Cyberpunk 2077's excuses as to why. I don't want to say excuses, but reasons as to why they aren't showing it off this week, the 55 minutes. Again, maybe they will, maybe they won't this week. Maybe they will release not the 15-minute, but the 50-minute plus gameplay that they have just waiting to be released. I don't know what the reason why they won't show it off, but there's some reason that they aren't doing it, and I'm very, very skeptical that I think they will release it in due time. I don't know when, I don't know where, but I think they will release that gameplay. But something reeks from their excuses as to why they won't release it. This has been 24. Remember to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe for more. Kind of a weird video. Cyberpunk is a weird game, man. I will have some things that I know that I made a video game analysis on Cyberpunk 2077, but I'm very, very interested in this game, and I'm very, very interested in the gameplay that they're going to be releasing on Friday and the stream as well that they'll be releasing on Friday. So I'll have a video talking about that stuff probably Saturday, maybe Sunday. Until then, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time.